first, pressure on those Georgia runoff elections. President Obama announcing today that he will be joining the two candidates down there, the Democratic side, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, for a virtual get-out-the-vote rally. And Biden's team has said that he, as well, the president-elect, expects to travel down to Georgia to join that campaign as well. That would be an important thing for Biden to get a 50-50 Senate, potentially makes getting his agenda passed a lot easier than if Republicans are still in control of the Senate, Chris.
Yeah,
all right, good morning.
Meantime, Eli, I want to talk to you about this.
8 minutes at the bell. So
how much
we were looking at
actually thinking he can
last night
change the outcome of an election that is over versus just a fundraising ploy.
CRM, Salesforce. Now CRM
one of the things that unsettles a lot of people. Trump is still president for
blew up,
50 more days,
but it still has ways to go. Let me see. Here it is.
Don't really know how far he will go with this.
So this is the pre-market. It's up there, man. I mean, it's still low, so I'm still liking it, but I think it's a little too high at the moment. I need this to drop just a little bit. So this is the support and resistance from yesterday.
And the fact that he lost. To deny that publicly. We've seen the president's schedules pretty empty over the last couple weeks. Haven't gotten a great idea of what. So
support and resistance from yesterday is 219 support and 223 resistance. So you can see nearing the end, that's pretty much where it came back, bounce off of right there.
This was a project. This was not just something that they decided to do, and they obviously did it.
But I'm also liking costs. There's nothing on cost telling me that why it dropped as much as it did. And cost is a mover, it's a decent mover. So you can see here it dropped. It's going back to 5-day support, because that's what that is right there.
Are starting to not go along with these lies about the election and the cases, the charges that he's throwing out there.
You can see that where it's at right now.
And all of this. I mean,
at one point it became resistance, then support, then resistance, and then it just broke through. So we'll see what happens.
And it's unnerving because he is still the president, and he has, I think, expressed to some folks privately that he understands he will be leaving the White House on January 20th. But there's still other things he can do and probably will do to undermine the new administration and to continue to try to sow as much doubt as he possibly can with his supporters in the country's democratic process.
Kristen, to Eli's point, even Senator Lindsey Graham, one of his biggest supporters, seems to have run out of patience with the president.
Zoom still has ways to go.
All of this, take a listen.
To get to its high. There's some decent news that broke out today. So Zoom is still low compared to where it came from.
Are the walls starting to crumble? I mean, how many people are left, frankly, who have any patience?
And Wayfair and J Maya. So we'll take a look at that. Okay, J Maya flew up high today. Pre-market's up there, although it's close to the sweet spot, so I'm still liking that right there. This is support from yesterday before it flew up. That's what that is right there. So Jemiah is also a nice contender. I have that on my second chart. So I am thinking. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have costs on this chart right here.
This is not an avalanche, Chris. The pressure has not gotten so great that I anticipate we're going to hear something from President Trump imminently.
Somehow cost Jemiah. I'm going to remove W and just put in CRM. CRM is a little up there. I want this to drop a little bit, knowing that it's still high.
Will diminish turnout among Republicans in those key races, which will ultimately determine who has control over the Senate. Chris. We're going to talk a lot more about that. We're going to be live in Georgia a little later on in this hour. Kristen, Mike, Eli, great to see all of you. Thank you so much. And up next, we are closer than ever to the coronavirus vaccine.
Take a look at Costco real quick.
Just how difficult it might be to convince people to get it. what's happening in Black and Latino communities to improve trust in the safety and the science. Plus, breaking news about
so cost is high. It's all off. So
finding parents of separated children.
yeah, it's reached its high. So Costco, I don't know.
I don't have
It could go down, but Costco right now is doing good. So
And we turn into our parents. What I do?
we'll see.
Homeowners overcome this.
Was it adjustable spanner? Good choice, Steve.
Don't forget, you're not assisting him. You hired him.
So we have J-Maya, good stock now, and CRM. I want CRM to sell off just a little bit before I even jump in that because it's a little too high for me right now. Even though it's still low, and this might be a 2-day hold. So if I jump into cost or Zoom at a good price, it might be a 2-day hold. J-Maya also might be a 2-day hold because J-Maya has some good news that broke out of it also as well.
Buy now and be prepared for the season. Did you know Prilosec OTC can stop frequent heartburn before
So because it flew up pre-market, it actually went down pre-market. You know what? And look, Costco's selling even more.
You get 24-hour heartburn protection. Take the Prilosec OTC 2-week challenge and see the difference for yourself.
I'm going to put J-Maya on the first one, and I'm going to put cost as my second one.
Zero heartburn.
Take a look at the 5-day chart real quick.
See yourself.
5-day, 5-minute.
And know you're not alone. Because this is not just a mirror. It's an unstoppable.
So it's currently at resistance
It's a race across
on its way down though from $41.
a gift for the whole family.
So cost is selling off. I like cost.
So join in now
I like J-Maya.
and see your best
CRM is too high for me right now.
in the mirror.
We're going to find
Now J-Maya is about $1.25, $1.50 moving on average. Mover on average. Cost is about a $3 move on average. But they are really high. So as they break support going or close to oversold.
Discount for everyone to get over $6,800 below MSRP this equinox.
Get the Chevy employee discount for everyone today.
There are 0 reasons not to get into a Volkswagen, especially now.
10 seconds of the bell rings.
Click, call, or come by today. Visit our Volkswagen Sign and Drive event and lease the 2020 T1S today with 0 down, 0 deposit, 0 first month's payment, and 0 due at signing.
From coast to coast, from Great Lakes to the Gulf, Inspection Reach, we make local businesses big and big brands look global. Grow your business with the best content, insights, products, and people. Welcome to Spectrum Reach. Let us show you around the neighborhood.
Time for new reading glasses? Go to readers.com. Choose from hundreds of styles and colors for under $20. And now enter this.
Alright, cost is going up.
To save up to
Still don't like where it's at right now.
That's readers.com.
Guys, times are tough, but Force Factory's Test X180 can help us man up America by boosting total testosterone, build muscle, fuel desire, and improve performance. Get Test X180 from Force Factory, the #1 fastest growing men's health brand at Walmart.
Alright, I want some direction on this. I see my lines at the bottom about to cross. I see my lines here about to cross.
First-time jobless claims last week totaled 712,000. That's a bit less than the estimate of 700. But those new figures come as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer come out in support of a bipartisan.
Alright, I'm waiting for this candle to form just a little bit. I have everything underneath it. My scroll just crossed. I'm going to see if I jump in right here.
Position that relief must start in the $2 trillion range, so less than half there. It also puts significant pressure on Republicans to return to the negotiating table, and several top Republicans have reacted favorably to the news. But so far, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has stayed silent.
Alright, I'm in.
The economic toll will continue, at least, of course, until there's widespread coronavirus vaccinations, and government and health officials are facing an enormous challenge, getting those who aren't convinced of its safety to get it.
So the high of this yesterday
Hardest hit by the pandemic.
was 33.19, but I'm expecting J-Maya to keep going today. So J-Maya might be a 2-day hold.
Think it will be effective. Among Latinos, 34% trust its safety, 40% trust its effectiveness. Overall, 48% of Black people say they'd take a coronavirus vaccine, 66% of Latinos say they would. Those numbers prompting groups like these volunteers in inner city Pittsburgh to try to change those perceptions. NBC's Dateline followed them as part of a special on the race for a vaccine as they spoke to communities.
Zoom was like decided to come back down. Salesforce is down. I'm liking where Salesforce is at.
A lot of resistance.
Hi, how you doing? We were talking to our neighbors about the vaccine that Pfizer has.
Alright, so it looks like that's the support or resistance right there, the yellow average. I'm going to see if I probably sell it on the next up to go up, hopefully. That's what I'm thinking of doing.
Who, as you may remember, is a proud participant in the Moderna.
If it breaks that, then I'll hold on to it just for a little bit.
I already had my second inoculation.
The response, she says, usually turns from skepticism to disbelief.
Are you crazy?
Alright, so we're probably going to make our way down.
Shoot you with something that
by just a little bit, hopefully.
It's going to help.
Hopefully this is going to continue to go up. So it seems like this is the resistance right here. So 34.47.
Now is Dr. Ayla Stanford. She left a successful concierge medicine practice that catered to celebrities to focus on low-income neighborhoods, which she saw the pandemic disproportionately affecting Black communities. Dr. Stanford first.
So I'm going to go ahead and buy another 2 shares right here.
Understand why there's so much distrust about a vaccine among the Black and Latino communities.
Thanks so much for having me. So first, it's more that the healthcare system has been untrustworthy to African Americans, and I think that's where you have to change the narrative.
All right, so I bought another 2 shares.
In the 1800s, when
this might be a 2-day hold.
On African women without their
CRM is making its way past resistance.
Before it was done on white women, for example. And of course, everyone.
Alright, so Jemiah's going to make his way down.
Then there's Holmesburg Prison in Philadelphia. There are the Henrietta Lacks cells with the HPV. And of course, now we're living through coronavirus. And so those fears are genuine. They are predicated on experience and real life actions that happened. So that's where it stems from. And some of the younger generation, they don't know those stories, but it's something that's passed down culturally from generation to generation.
Well, the CDC director, Robert Redfield, had some new comments to the larger issue.
No, Jemiah has there's a lot of chatter going on that this stock is going to be like the next like Amazon and Alibaba and whatnot.
They really turn over every stone to look at this data to make sure they understand fully what the safety profile
So I'm not worried about this sell-off. If I was thinking of making a mini profit on it, I would have sold it right here. I was up as it's stair-stepping down now. So the resistance support level is at 28.25. Our cost base is 34 right now. So
I did this myself. I mean, how do you change this narrative, doctor?
So I do believe transparency is key. I said you're not going to be able to change 400 years of experience, quite honestly, in the next few weeks because there's a vaccine.
No, I had like $700 something to start the day.
This is the fastest we've ever developed a vaccine.
As we're splitting up the capital in half, and this thing is starting to take a huge nosedive. Not worried. So let's see if it finds a bottom here at the actual support. Now, this thing moves. This thing moves. You know, it can move. It's been moving decent. If we look back at from this one from 29 to 31, $1.
The benefit and reduce the risk, and that's true for everyone.
So, look, there are people who
$2 right there.
Who are respected, folks out there who are trying to make
this thing is taking a hard nosedive. So,
Obama is saying about this.
But I'm expecting this to be a 2-day hold.
This vaccine is safe and can vaccinate, immunize you from getting COVID. Absolutely, I'm going to take it.
And then after President Obama went a step further, he said he'd take the vaccine publicly. President Bush, Clinton both said they would do it in public if they thought it would help. And there's a new op-ed in the Washington Post calling on President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris to get vaccinated live on TV as a way to encourage minority communities to get inoculated. Do you think that could have an impact?
I do believe it'll have an impact. However, I think there's
the market is green.
There are those who are going to take it right away, and most often those are the people who have.
There's a lot of sell-off yesterday, so cost looks like it's going back up.
Know someone who's been seriously ill or died from coronavirus.
Yeah, I chose J-Maya because of the good news, and from where it came from. It dropped a little bit. It was close to the sweet spot. Everything's set to get in. I could have made a profit right there. But knowing that this thing can fly high, so I'm going to hold on to this for about 2-3 days if it doesn't reach my mark. So I'm going to sell it at
Biden and Vice President-elect Harris, yes, but you need the on-the-ground community leaders
about 35-50.
Recognize and interact with to also say yes, it's safe.
Dr. Ayla Stanford with a really important message. We do appreciate you taking the time to talk.
So again, it might take a couple days for it to reach my mark.
On the race for a vaccine tonight in a special edition of Dateline, Lester Holt will sit down for an exclusive interview with the top executives at Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. That's at 10.
That's where I'm going to sell that. Don't know if it'll go there today. After dropping $3, it could go. I mean, there's been a few days that it made it to that. It went past $3-4. Which is why it's on my watch list for that same reason. So we have Zoom selling off after a very volatile 8 minutes right there. Costco looks like it made a little mini pop and now it's going back down. CRM sold off a little bit. I want to see CRM to go down just a little bit more, man.
Average risk for colon cancer, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your prescriber or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you. I'll get on. That's a step in the right direction.
Right. All right. Yes, I changed W to COSC. I don't know what W is at right now. It's, what is it doing?
What's going to happen? I'm Ice-T and nobody likes it when their check engine light comes on.
Very nice.
Especially when your car's out of warranty. That can mean expensive repair bills. That's why I have cars.
You can see, well, if you would have got in there.
Repairs taken care of, so I don't have to. You gotta love that.
Yeah. Cost is, I mean, W's a little bit slower.
Car Shield because we didn't want to get stuck with expensive car repairs.
Car Shield helps ease the pain of expensive breakdowns. When your car breaks down, you can take it to any certified mechanic or dealer, and Car Shield handles the rest. Your show-stopping coverage also includes roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage at no additional cost.
You don't have to be a detective to know that we all need our cars. And when your car is out of warranty, those repairs can really add up. The good news is Car Shield helps take care of those astronomical car repair prices, not you. Car Shield's low monthly payments and no long-term contracts make it easy for everyone to be protected and save money when their car breaks down.
It's like having a suit of armor around my car.
We're just happy with Car Shield. They put a transmission in it and a motor. Who does that?
Car Shield covers most makes and models from 5,000 to 150,000 miles.
Let's keep it a matter of if your car will break down.
You know, I don't know if it's going to keep stepping down. I mean, you know, in the beginning, I mean, if you look what it did yesterday, it went from $24 to a high of $23.19. You know, that being the level of resistance, but it took all day to get there. So, I hope it doesn't do this today. I hope it maybe if it continues to go, maybe as far as maybe $20-30 maybe. But again, my mentality on this stock today is that it's going to go up. So everything told me to get in again right here. I got in here. I was up, so I waited for my lines to cross. I didn't want to get on the first candle, not knowing what it essentially was, what it was going to do. I could have sold it right there. It was having a struggle breaking that average line for like a mini gain. But you know, this stock tends to do that, man. So lately, there's nothing but good news on it. I mean, early this morning, it says Jemiah completes 200 million ads offering.
Efficient, productive, seamless.
Okay. I'm in.
Whatever your business is facing, let's workflow it. ServiceNow.
This morning, extraordinary new details about the days that led to former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn's firing. Just 25 days, but consequential ones he was in the White House. Fired, though, after he lied to Vice President Pence and others about talks he had with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak. President Trump just pardoned him on Thanksgiving after he pleaded guilty twice to lying to the FBI. Our own Carol Lee talked with more than 20 current and former Trump administration staffers to put together an report
from its sell off, Jemiah is at already resistance. But before the sell off, it was
years of legal and political drama.
$3-4 above that. So I'm expecting for this to fly high. So if it doesn't get to this point today, then I'm going to wait for it tomorrow, or if not the next day, because this is a good stock. This is like all the, it's like Amazon when it first started out. It's like Baba.
Many of whom had asked him for weeks whether or not he had discussed sanctions with the Russian ambassador, and he repeatedly told them no, that didn't happen, that there was no discussion of that. And when it became public that indeed he did speak about sanctions with the ambassador, that led to some really tense exchanges in the White House in these early days. You had then Chief of Staff confronting Michael Flynn, saying, you know, what the bleep is going on, and you had the vice president going to the spokesman.
Yeah, I already mentally had thought to have Jemiah and CRM for a couple days hold if I was to get in. So, you know, I don't feel bad with the decision I made. I got in here, everything's set to get in. If you follow the strategy, you kind of got out right there as it was having a hard time breaking that support level or resistance level. It looks like it's having another trouble right now, breaking this level right here. The 200 moving average is what that is right there. But I don't know. I'm comfortable with it. If my thoughts were to get out of this today, I would have sold it there. If my thoughts were maybe to keep this for a little bit longer, make a little bit more money, not being greedy with it, but knowing that it has potential to climb, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't want to tie my money too long, but I can tie it up for at least 2 days. Because once, say if I say I don't sell this until Monday, per se. Hopefully not. I'd like to get rid of this before the weekend. But let's just say that I sell it on Monday, it reaches a level I want on Monday. That money immediately, because I've held on for about 2 days, once I sell it, it's back in my account. And I can start using it.
Yeah, this was his 5th day as National Security Advisor of Trump's presidency, and that was the day that the FBI came to the West Wing to interview Michael Flynn, and they had a lengthy interview. He made some small talk. They even passed the president in the West Wing, and he eventually started to give false statements about his contacts with the Russians. Well, then fast forward later that evening, and Michael Flynn is seen in the suite of the National Security Advisor, which is a corner office in the West Wing, outside standing over his assistant as they scanned bios of lawyers looking for an attorney, and that gives you a sense of how he knew that this was a problem.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, you guys want to go into these penny stocks, the $5, the $2, the Momo stocks. you know, you're more than welcome to do that. It's not the strategy that I'm showing. You know, the stocks here are a little bit lower or a little bit higher than that. A higher price, but you can definitely make some good money with that. In the Momo stocks, they go down hard, they jump, they go down hard, they go up hard. I mean, you can make good money. You could be 50-50. 50-50 is not what you want. You know, you want to be, you know, 70-30, 80-20, whatever, man. But, you know, you don't want to be 50-50. Unless your 50-50, your gains are more than your losses, then, yeah, I can see that. But I just don't like the stress of it all.
Well, the Justice Department hasn't given us official comment on why they are just now handing this over, but the ACLU and other nonprofit law.
So I'm kind of hoping Costco keeps selling off, so that way tomorrow can be one that I like to get into and look at, because Costco does move about $3 on average, more or less. We can see here in the very beginning.
Could not know if they'd been reunited. They think the media pressure actually convinced.
So after this drop right here at 385 to the high here at 386 and change, so it's about $1 and change. This thing kept going down. So right here after the hit support, 381, 383. So yeah, so Costco's about a 250, you know,
This is very specific.
$3 mover on average.
That gives contact information for anyone who is still in the United States and going through the immigration court system, whether that be for deportation or asylum. But it's so chaotic because you have some data here, you have data within Health and Human Services that house the children, you have data within DHS that did the initial separations. It's also chaotic, and the officials who signed on to this policy from the beginning knew it would be this chaotic. They had no plan in place. So they're trying to bring these pieces together now.
I mean,
lawyers have been asking for months. It was a year ago.
I mean, let's take a look at it. So, you know what, the first one was EVK.
We can't do this ourselves. I mean, it's unbelievable how bad it was. So about 38 parents were found over the last
Yeah, you see, like, so this was the Momo for today. As you can see here, whatever.
Their families or realize it may never happen.
What it says, well, I mean, there's really no recent news on it, to be honest with you. Why it's jumping up, nothing telling me why I did this.
And actually put the responsibility.
But look, so it went up pre-market, came down, went back up, tested that level right there, and then it's making its way down.
The big question for the lawyers representing the families is whether or not they will allow these parents special protections to actually come back to the United States to reunite with their children. Otherwise, they're faced with the tough choice of bringing their child into a potentially dangerous situation in their home country or face indefinite separation. Julia, thank you for your relentless reporting on this. These kids and their parents obviously deserve it.
Right,
so
nice.
Appreciate it.
So that's what you got. Okay.
Go to Georgia. Two pro-Trump attorneys.
It's still a little high for the day. So
Senate runoffs, as the president's
yeah, right here.
The election appears to be impacting
right?
voters there.
It doesn't matter where they came from.
Right here.
Or how you met them. Some have known.
Look,
others just feel like it.
It's a little high for me, but it's very low compared to what it was a couple days ago, man.
But we call them all family. And everything's just better when you're with them.
I would have liked it to come at least in this area.
It's better in the Hyundai Palisade.
I mean, it is up.
Class exclusive blind view monitor.
And we got Zoom.
We're all finding ways to keep moving.
I think Zoom will drop maybe $6 or so, then maybe it'll fly back up. Although it is in a decent place, man. It's right there, so it's not bad.
Things that are important to you today. We'll help you plan for healthcare costs, taxes, and any other uncertainties. Because with Fidelity, you can feel confident that the only direction you're moving is forward.
I felt like I was just fighting an uphill battle in my career.
Right, so
Digital skills courses. I'm thinking,
knowing that Jemiah was already at support from, and I can pop that up and I'll show you.
Attention veterans with VA loans. Record low mortgage rates have now fallen.
So knowing that it was at support already, right? Or resistance, I should say, starting from this point right here, from this day here, as it's making its way down. Knowing that, in hindsight, yes, I should have probably waited for it to drop a little bit more. But my lines and everything told me to get in, and there's nothing but good news on this that broke out today. So I anticipated that mini pop to go up. I mean, I just wanted it to go up just $1. At this point, I want it to go up $2 now. I do believe that by the end of the day, it'll probably reach this mark here, if not tomorrow. You can see it's currently struggling right here with the support level, which is good for us, the support on the deviation lines. So, you know, I'm looking for a two-day, three-day max hold on this. I don't think it's gonna go way down there. I really don't.
Pain hits fast, so get relief fast.
There's a lot of interest in this stock right now.
Only Tylenol rapid release gels have laser-drilled holes. They release medicine fast for fast pain relief. Tylenol rapid release gels.
Brighten your holidays with a Lightkeeper Pro. The Lightkeeper Pro fixes lights.
You know, I did not do that. Let me see.
Outdoor lights. Pre-lit Christmas trees. Don't throw your decorations away. Just pull the quick fix trigger to repair the #1 cause of light set failure. It fixes net lights, icicle lights. There's an audible voltage detector and more. Lightkeeper Pro and LED Keeper, available in stores now.
You're like her, a holiday visionary on a mission to make this year merry. Because the halls aren't going to deck themselves. Here's to those making the magic. Forge your merry way with Duluth.
So overnight, Georgia counties wrapped up their second recount of the presidential election. Officials there reporting that so far they have not seen any substantial changes. But that hasn't stopped the president and his allies from bombarding the state with false voter fraud claims. Even as the president and vice president plan to campaign across Georgia this weekend ahead of January's all-important Senate runoffs. And in another mind-boggling twist, two attorneys tied to the president slammed Republican leaders in that state, urging supporters to not even vote in the special election that will decide, again, who controls the Senate.
If Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue do not do it, they have not earned your vote. Don't you give it to them.
I'm gonna go get some coffee as this thing starts to plummet for me. Yeah, I'm holding on to this for a couple days, man. Unless it decides to make a nice little run going up real soon. Although I don't see that likely. I see this being as a late bloomer.
Yes, the question is, could the disenchantment of Republican voters cost Republicans the U.S. Senate?
So I'm thinking that because it had a 2-day sell-off,
split in the Senate, but you've been on the road,
and then 1 day of going up, thinking that this is going to go up. It's a lot of chatter on the stock. A lot of people are liking it long term.
Now here in the fall and winter of 2020, it's that disbelief in America's own election system.
There's no recent news on it. The only thing that I did notice, I should have checked on it real quick, was the short.
Republicans here in the state of Georgia, and yet at the same time
you can see here the interest in shorting Jeremiah right here. It increased by 13%, so that's substantial. So I'm thinking, let all these short sellers and profit takers get their money, and then weed everybody out, and it can go back up.
Everyone except the one Democrat.
What would be your message to President Trump right now? President Trump? He's coming to Georgia.
Right, so I kind of mentioned the other day, the Short Squeeze is a website, shortsqueeze.com. What you do is, when the stocks that I'm looking at, you know, if they see what you know, what's the interest in shorting the stock, I'll go in here and then, okay, so short interest and ratios data cover 1.5. Increase or decrease, it increased by 13%. So on and so on. So
dollars pouring in. That's certainly going to set a record for a special
we'll see.
election. The amount of money that's going to be spent. Always good to see you, Vaughn. Thank you so much for that. And that's going to wrap up this hour. I'm Chris Jansing in for Stephanie Roll. Hallie Jackson will pick up our coverage next. And then at noon Eastern, Dr. Anthony Fauci will join Andrea Mitchell. So keep it right here on MSNBC.
If you have postmenopausal osteoporosis and a high risk for fracture, now might not be the best time to ask yourself, are my bones strong? Life's full of make or break moments. That's why it's so important to help reduce your risk of fracture with Prolia. Only Prolia is proven to help strengthen and protect bones from fracture with one shot every 6 months.
Do not take Prolia if you have low blood calcium, are pregnant, are allergic to it, or take Xgeva. Serious allergic.
Yeah, I don't know why Costco's going down. But I like it to go down a little more. So I'm hoping that that's going to maintain going down for me so I can be interested in that tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to double down on J Maya tomorrow. I might, but because of the fact that I'm thinking of holding on to this for a couple days, I just might leave it where it's at. I don't want to do the same thing I did the other day where I missed out on Zoom. I missed out on Zoom yesterday. That thing flew high because I doubled down on DKNG. But we'll see. I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, if I do double down on J Maya, it's not to get rid of it for a base hit. It's to get rid of it for a decent chunk of change, you know? I mean, with the small account challenge, a decent chunk of change probably be around, I don't know, maybe 40, 50 bucks. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We're all putting things off, especially in these times. But some things are too serious to be ignored. If you still have symptoms,
I definitely think it can hit this mark today. It's not up. It's just $1 up from what I bought it at.
It could be a sign of damaging inflammation, which left untreated could get much worse. Please make an appointment to see your gastroenterologist right away, or connect with them online. Once you do, seeing the doctor.
I mean, look, this thing moves dollars, bro. I mean, it's already $1 from here to here.
Colitis.com.
Wow! You gotta see the stats on that one! I get the handoff, and with 4 defenders that close, chance of punching it in for a TD, 14%! I can work with that. So I accelerate a lot. Defender distance, decimals. My only out, 0 gravity, 6 points. Best flipping play of the season. Next gen stats powered by Amazon.
No, I'm not worried. Look, let me show you something. From the low of here, 24.85 to the high at this point is 30 bucks. You know, it's $4 or $5 right there that it's moving, man. And then it kept going up. So from 20, this is yesterday's. This is a 5-minute chart.
Benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every month.
So from 24 to a high of 33. It's a $9 move, man.
So much. With this virus situation,
so I'm very comfortable with the stock. Not one bit worried at all.
With the uncertainty of the virus, you need to get everything.
But you are right, though. I will give you that. It's a good thing that you're paying attention. So this being the resistance from yesterday, that I was having a hard time breaking that, and then we was it? No. Yes, this was the resistance of yesterday. Having a hard time breaking that. We in hindsight we should have waited for this to go down, but because it does have a decent upside to it, it's a lot of chatter on the stock. Everything told me to get in here. If I would have took a base hit, I would have made money, walked away within the first 3 minutes of the bell ringing, and you know, would have walked away with like $6 maybe, which is not bad. It's a base hit, which I do preach. But I think this is gonna fly high, man. I really do think it's gonna, maybe not today, but I think it's due for its high, and nothing but great news breakout on it. There's nothing recent telling me otherwise. We have the market green right now. The other stocks we're looking at, Zoom looks like it's gonna. I want Zoom to come down just a little bit. So I would like for Zoom to come down to the 405, 404, 407 area for me to be interested in getting back in that. CRM, I still think that it's a little high, but if we take a look at the RSI for CRM,
and whether his job's safe, as the press secretary declines to say either way. Does he still have confidence in Bill Barr?
The president, if he has any personnel announcements, will be the first to know it.
I'm Hallie Jackson in Washington.
It's tricky, man.
We start off with NBC's Maura Barrett in Tennessee, where the vice president will be soon, and Shaq Brewster in Richmond, Indiana. Shaq, you're in a more rural spot in Indiana. 100,000 people hospitalized right now with COVID. You are seeing that number firsthand. It's a state that ranks second in the country for COVID hospitalizations per capita. What are you seeing there?
Hallie, you're seeing hospitals be as creative as possible, doing whatever they can
to
expand the capacity. Believe it or not, this was a conference room here at Reed Health in Richmond, Indiana, and it's in just the past couple of days, it's been retrofitted so that it can add to the capacity.
It's at support. It's at resistance right now.
More patients in the COVID wing of this hospital, and
I'm assuming you got in here.
Perspective. Yesterday was just such a grim day. Look at the numbers. More than 205, or nearly 205.
So right now, that's the resistance, my man. So I don't know. It's already $9, $11. You know, so you're like what, like $8?
And the record 100.
Yeah. Look, it's having a hard time to break it. Look, if you sell it right now, I'm not saying you should, but if you were to sell it right now, walk away with your profit. And it continues to go up. Hey man, you wrote it for $8, man. I mean that's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah. See, so I like to hear and see those things. So you know, don't be just dependent on me or what I'm looking at. You know, if something that you're looking at is not, you know, where you like it to be, it's too expensive, you can revert to what I'm looking at. And as most of you have, but see some of you venturing off to your own. That's great, man. Bala went up $6 today, man. The Chinese stocks, man, are tough, man. So you sold it. Nice. Very nice. 5 shares.
On medical officials, especially here in the state of Indiana. Hallie?
$10 profit, huh? Nice.
I want to cross over where you are. The vice president will be there today as the state sees these.
Or yeah, why not? You grab it for $10.
beds that are available. What's the focus there today, and what kind of reality is he walking into?
So the vice president is going to be holding a coronavirus roundtable over in Memphis. Hallie, he's going to be focusing on methods of distribution for the vaccine. And it's no coincidence.
Nice little base, my man.
Is based there. They've been working
real nice.
Operation Warp Speed.
Let's see what our motherfucker's doing.
Have more capability in terms of having dry ice and cold storage for those vaccines. And we've learned that Vice President Pence will be meeting with some of those FedEx executives to walk through that process as well.
There is nothing telling me that this is gonna come back all the way down here. But this made a $9 run. It took all day to get there, and I really do think that it has that potential to fly high, man. So you know what? I'm gonna get on my E-Trade account into the trigger. So say this does drop, which I hope it does, to be honest with you. But it could be good. I can buy it at a cheaper price for my long term, and then hold on to it for months, maybe a year or so. I don't know. It is cheap. A lot of stocks talking about, a lot of traders talking about this. So as we can see, that's the current level of resistance. The main is still old. It's having a hard time break that. If we can break that level of resistance, I think we'll be fine. It might take all day for that to happen.
Joining us now with that exclusive. Lester, it's great to have you on the show. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Hallie.
It's remarkable to watch you sitting down with these three leaders of these three companies that are competitors. But right now, what's fascinating is they're telling you they're actually cheering each other on at the moment.
So what price would I like this at? So you know what? I'm going to put a trigger in my long-term account for a low of this support right here. So 3180. I hope it doesn't go to that today.
For the amount of vaccine out there that will be needed. And they also recognize the failure of one vaccine could shake trust in all of them. And so in many ways, they are in this together. The world has been just waiting for this moment.
All right, done.
To produce these vaccines. You know,
so I got a trigger for this stock to buy at 3180 in my long-term account.
On these vaccines, how does that guide you as someone responsible for a company trying to
80 shares.
But also understanding that the world is really depending on you?
Yes, it's what I had said in the beginning. This is not about normal business. This is not about return on investment. And we feel the responsibility, and actually we felt the pressure of the billions of people in this world and millions of businesses in this world.
Well, in my long-term account, I have. Remember, I took all my earnings out that I've made since I've been trading, and started with, and left with just what I had when I first started initially. So all that money is I split it up between my swing account and my long-term account. I haven't really done anything in my swing account since last week. On my swing account, I'm up like $300 for.
Position to have an adequate capacity, to have an adequate number of vaccines to really make a difference.
300 for last month. I'm up on my swing trade account because I only did a couple trades. On my long-term account, I'm up very nice.
So we ultimately felt like we were responsible for delivering for that, billion or half a billion people in 2021.
In my long-term account, I have BA. I got that at 155. I got Apple. Don't know where Apple's at right now, but I'm not going to touch Apple ever. That's going to stay on there. DraftKings, I own DraftKings. DraftKings, BA, Apple, and J Maya if it reaches that low. Which I wanted to go so I can make money long term, but I wanted to go up first so that way I can make money today.
There are hundreds of people developing COVID-19. We had over 30 severe cases. We even had a death in our recent reported update. That brings home your sense of responsibility to those people. That we now have vaccines that we believe are safe and effective. And
I don't even know what DraftKings is at. What is DraftKings doing right now?
At the same time, you need to compile long-term
DraftKings is going down. What did it do in the open? Yeah, it went down. See that?
In the face of a pandemic like we have right
I like
now,
DraftKings.
Loss of life and disease, it just
what did it do in the first open?
And hopefully there are other smart ways we can still follow for.
So get it in here at 49.76.
And
yeah.
Of course, Pfizer and Moderna have submitted their vaccines.
That's going back up. We'll see what it does.
The FDA, Johnson & Johnson says they should have their stage 3 results finished very quickly. They're confident they're going to have a highly effective vaccine as well.
For a lot of people, Lester, and you know this, it feels like a light at the end of the tunnel, right? But one of the next steps after that is going to be building public trust in a vaccine. Part of that comes from being upfront and clear about the data, about the evidence. But in the special report later on tonight on NBC, you're also following a group of volunteers in Pittsburgh.
Nice. So, how many people are done trading?
I should say by COVID, particularly communities of color. Communities
really?
In some cases, are the most reluctant.
Nice work on shop. Team, you got team, huh?
Yeah, there's some historical resistance to vaccines in some of these communities, and one of the things we do is go.
Very nice, my man. I'm assuming you got it here at the second candle, being that everything was underneath it. And what did you sell it at? You just sold it. Did you just sell it?
Say I'm not doing it. I don't trust to what they might put in my arms. That's going to be a huge obstacle because
beautiful. Congratulations.
Of the American population to be inoculated to really feel the effects of the program.
Look at Twillo.
That's for sure.
Twillo was too high for me to get into anyway. But if something told me to get in, I probably would have got in here. And look at that, man. It's up $12. Beautiful run, man.
10/9 Central over on NBC News. You heard Lester talk about the importance of boosting public trust in a vaccine. Well, this morning, listen to this. 3 former presidents are volunteering to get their vaccines publicly on camera if need be, if and when the time comes. You've got President Obama, President Bush, President Clinton hoping to send a powerful message to Americans who may be skeptical, as we're talking about. Former President Obama stressing in a new interview with SiriusXM that he puts his trust in the nation's top infectious disease expert. Listen.
Well, Anthony Fauci tells me this vaccine is safe and can vaccinate, immunize you from getting COVID. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm holding this long term, not long term, but for a day or two. I wanted to reach my I know it can reach this area here. It just, you can see it's going up hard, man. So.
Let's call it with his attorney general. And just out this morning, a 3-year NBC News investigation on President Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. But details you've never heard and more on why the president decided to...
So this is the resistance from the opening.
And even after warnings to State Department employees to go virtual for the holidays, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is not. Instead, holding big parties with hundreds of guests. We're talking with a reporter who broke that story ahead.
Applebee's 2 for $20. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
I'm Calvin, and there's more to me than HIV. I'm a peer educator, a fitness buff, and a champion for my own health. I talked with my doctor and switched to fewer medicines with Dovato.
Prescription Dovato is for some adults who are starting HIV-1 treatment or replacing their current HIV-1 regimen with just 2 medicines in 1 pill. Dovato is as effective as a 3-drug regimen to help you reach and stay undetectable. Research shows people who take HIV treatment as prescribed and get to and stay undetectable can no longer transmit HIV through sex. Don't take Dovato if you're allergic to any of its ingredients, or if you take Dofetilide. Hepatitis B can become harder to treat while taking Dovato. Do not stop Dovato without talking to your doctor, as your hepatitis B may worsen or become life-threatening. Serious or life-threatening side effects.
Yes, I lowered my trigger. I lowered it at the actual, and it sold for us, guys. It sold for us. We're done for the day. I lowered my trigger at the actual resistance. I saw an opportunity and I took it. Seeing here that the opportunity was the fact that it came back up to resistance of where it opened at right here. It's having a hard time breaking that. It gave it a 3rd attempt and then it went down from there. Now, will this keep going higher? I believe so. But I'm gonna take my mini base hit today. I'm gonna show you right now my buy screen. Okay.
Has bristles that can leave cleaning gaps and wrap hair, so sharp.
It's my buy screen right here. You can see we made $9.11. Transparency with everything, guys. I want to show you guys. Listen, you can take these little mini base hits when you're starting up your account, and then go. The more times you can go green on a base hit, like $3 to $10 anywhere from there or higher, you start building up your capital little by little, guys. And you can definitely get your money that way, man. It can be frustrating. I know it can be frustrating, but so I started trading about a year or so ago, right? And I started with $1,700. I lost like $600 of that when I first started, and I kept going, I kept figuring. I didn't quit. I kept looking at things to see what would work, and then I found a strategy that worked. And I look at the charts every day. I look at my things every day. I learn everything. You got to keep your ear open. You don't want to keep switching back and forth to different strategies. So what I found was that when I was looking for different strategies, I started understanding what from my previous strategy was working and use that as a common denominator, and I kept building from that. and that's what helped me get to that point. So having a strong level, having a strong understanding of support and resistance, as we can see here.
And it can be yours. See more at glowforge.com.
So this was the resistance for today. So you can see here, try to get it to there. I tried to get that 1 point, failed. It went there at 1 point, failed. Trying to do the same thing again, failed. So if I have an opportunity to reach back to that point, once it reaches another support level, so you can see here, this is support, that's resistance. So we can see here, it was bouncing off that level right there at 31.76, and then it started to go high. So you can see, as an upswing, I mean, this went from 31 to 34. So I do think that it's ran its course for whole dollars it can go, but it did make a $9 jump yesterday. That can go for all day though.
But no decision has been made. One person tells me that some in the president's circle are trying to convince him not to make that move.
So I saw the opportunity that I was going to get to that level, so I decided to cut sell my solid at that level there, because that's the resistance and it's having a hard time breaking. So I decided to go ahead and get out there. If I was to hold it for a whole day, I would have upped my cost base about 36 bucks, so it still has room to grow from where it came from, and all the good news on this. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking of jumping on this at 33.19 or 32.50 for my long-term account. I think it's gonna come back down here to the old resistance, which is now the support at 33.19. But it might go back up. I don't know. So we took our base hit, $9. I'm out of the trade. I'm done for the day, guys. See who else? I see Shop. Very nice on Shop. Very nice on Shop. I saw Team. Good job on Team.
To the inauguration. Now, you talked about the fact there were a couple of reasons why President Trump is frustrated with Barr. It's not just because of these latest statements. It also goes back to the Durham investigation.
Moderna. Ooh, we got a risk taker here.
President Trump really
I like Moderna. Honestly, I just think it's way too high, man. But yeah, wow. Look at that. So I'm assuming you got in here, my man, huh?
So that he can stay on beyond President Trump's administration.
Yeah?
It is
okay.
also worth noting, Hallie, that against
so I would say, what, halfway? What was your cost base? What?
I had the chance to ask Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany if the president still has confidence in his attorney general, and she really dodged the question.
Wow, 145 to 153.
That is the standard line, of course, from the White House.
I don't know, dude. I would wait for it to drop to the blue line, man. I mean, you're already up.
Hasn't actually fired, and Bob got some reporting from your colleagues.
$8 on that mother. Yeah, well, maximize your gains. Sell it when it hits the pink. But if you want to see if it has room to jiggle, wait for the yellow or for the blue. Very nice. Very nice. I know you're gonna go green today. Look, dude, it's way oversold, overbought. I mean, it's been at the overbought for about 9 minutes, going on 10 minutes. It's on overbought. That's gonna come down, not too hard, but it's gonna come down real soon, man. It's gonna come down real soon. The RSI is showing that it's
You also have, what I think is interesting, one of the president's closest allies, Lindsey Graham, again basically saying, hey, put up or shut up here. Release evidence to back up your claims or else move on. Here's a little bit of what Senator Graham had to say.
To the Trump legal team, you're making all these claims, you gotta prove it. Doing a video is not proof. You need to take these.
Ride it, bro. Ride it. That's not being greedy here, man. You did everything you had. You did everything right, my man. You got in right there. You're riding this motherfucker as high as you can. Ride it, bro. Nothing's telling you to get out. Just because it's on overbought doesn't mean nothing. Your lines are still in play, my man. Get that money, bro. Get that money. Nice job on that. Nice job.
And potentially for the future, that this election was somehow, in a baseless way, basically claiming it's a fraud, it's rigged, all to set up his own political brand and his political standing for the future. So as much as he says he wants to fight to the Supreme Court, I'm told that it's as much about fighting politically in the years ahead and being Donald Trump.
Now I'm watching it with you, man. I want to see.
Of this country.
You gonna do the pink?
And he is using the backdrop of his official position at the White House to do that, Chris. And as you well know, with that 46-minute video released with more.
Oh, you're gonna do the blue? Nice. Okay, yeah, do the blue. Do the blue, man. Ride that motherfucker up. Look, it's already like 10 minutes, 11 minutes above the overbought on the RSI. It's only so long a stock can stay up there for that level, in that level. So yeah, so get your trigger ready, man. Get your trigger ready.
Reiterating a number of the baseless, unsubstantiated claims that we have heard from him about what he believes was fraud in this election. We continue to reiterate these statistics, but it's worth noting that of 47 cases that have been brought by the president and his legal team and his allies, 27 of those have been denied, dismissed.
Insane run, my man. Insane run. Good job, bro. Good job.
And so it's hard to see what the path is. And Robert talks about the path moving forward and the president's legacy moving forward. And that's where some of the concern is. The president's allies that ultimately, by
looks like it found its resistance, my man. It's like that's the resistance right there.
Runoffs on the horizon. So those are some of the internal grumblings that are.
All right, looks like it's breaking your pink.
So the Georgia point is really interesting, Chris, and Bob, I want to ask you because that is the immediate sort of short-term backdrop to this, right? The runoffs there, what it means, and yet you have some of these folks that are allied with the president, at least ostensibly, coming out. For example, pro-Trump attorney Lynn Wood, basically encouraging voters in Georgia not to get out to the polls, to boycott that race because the election is, in his view, rigged, which is not.
Ride it, bro. Ride it. Oh, it's touching your blue. Oh, it's touching your blue. Did you sell?
Cripple America. What's your sense of these claims? How this
nice job, dude. Nice job, my man.
Well, Speaker Gingrich's comment is aligned with what I'm hearing.
Yeah, see, so my stock that I got out of.
They need Republican voters in Georgia in the rural areas.
Yeah, so you know, so we'll go through it real quick again. So, support and resistance is very important, man. Have a good understanding of support and resistance. Find out where support is from days ago, months ago on the daily chart. Gives you a good understanding of where the stock can go, where it could possibly go. So you do the whole technical and then you do the fundamental. Fundamental is basically trying to figure out the news on it. You know, if there's any recent news.
Or listening to the president's Facebook message.
No, you can just Google that. You know, this is what I do. So, you know, this is what I do. So what I'll do is I'll just type in the ticker symbol. And then, so Jemiah stock, and this is what I do every single day, man. You know what I'm saying? So then, you can see here 7 hours ago, 3 days ago. So, you know, then I look for the most recent news out there, and I start reading it, you know, and it tells me that, you know, okay, whether I'm going to get in it, or I'm not going to get in it, you know, stuff like that. So, Jemiah being an African e-commerce company, they call it the Zoom, or not the Zoom, the Amazon of Africa.
Just about a month before the January 5th runoffs.
You know, and then you know, so technical is where was that, where it could go. You know, is it going to go up, is it going to go down? You know, swing traders do that often. Swing traders use maybe about a 15 minute, maybe a 30-hour time frame chart. You know, you can gauge it better. It reduces the noise a lot, and they definitely use the 184-hour chart, the daily chart, and then the 5-day chart, just to gauge where it's at. Because I mean, a swing trade initially should be about 2 or 3 days, maybe 5 days, but not really. 5 days, if you got it real cheap, like CRM, I think it could be like a good 4 or 5 day hold. Although I do think it's a little high. It opened a little high for me. That doesn't mean that I'm not interested. I just wanted to drop a little bit before I get into it. So I'm hoping that CRM is still a great play. It dropped 2 days in a row. I think Zoom is still great. I want Zoom to go down to 405 for tomorrow. If I'm thinking of getting into Zoom tomorrow, there's quite a few things I'm looking at, man. I think Costco is still low, and Costco is about a $253 mover. So I like Costco as well. I hope that keeps selling off. Zoom, I'm liking Zoom. Zoom has ways to go still. So even though we had the vaccine going, and Moderna, Pfizer, yeah, Pfizer. Why did you get into Pfizer?
An assistant locker room manager? Help protect your clothes with new Downy Defy damage.
With the Ninja Foodie Power Pitcher.
What was it? PFE, right?
Make smoothies and do
There we
even
go.
more. Chop salsas, spoon-thick smoothie bowls, even power for dough, and never
Yes, this is why I don't like Pfizer, man. I don't. Yeah, I look. Excuse the language. I can give 3 fucks. That Pfizer could have the better vaccine.
Transportation and meals at no additional cost.
It just doesn't attract me, man. It doesn't. But you know, if you want to trade it, although they have some good news breaking out, I think on the 9th or the 10th, which is why this stock is going to continue to fly high. Will it pass this 41.50 mark? I don't know, and I don't know. I want to say yes,
With the uncertainty of the virus, you need to get
but I don't know.
what you're entitled to. Millions of people have trusted the Medicare coverage helpline. You can too. Don't miss the deadline.
No, Pfizer is something I'm definitely not considering.
3493. That's 1-800-419-3493 now.
Hiring is
I'm not really a big biotech stock trader. I do have a few. I have Moderna 1 and I have NVAX. I like NVAX at all of them because NVAX moves very nice. So you can see here, look at here. And I was actually thinking of looking at NVAX today, to be honest with you. So, you know, I would have gotten here on the first candle because my yellow's on there. Even though nothing on my SCO is telling me to cross, I would have got it on the very first candle, only because my yellow line's underneath it. And then probably rode that wave up. I don't know. Probably at that line, because I put that line there for a reason. Yeah, I would have sold it right there. So, I mean, that's a $4 move right there. You would have been in and out in 4 minutes. NVAX, Moderna are the ones I look at as far as biotech. I don't have much biotech. I do have a decent variety. You know, I do have a bunch of tech, more tech than anything. But you know, we have Cost, Boeing, McDonald's, Walmart, Beyond Meats, Nike, Workday, you know, PayPal, Disney. So I have quite a few on there. But these are all stocks that move more than $1. I want stocks that move more than $1. Alright, so NVAX is flying high, man. Very nice. Moderna flying high. NVAX flying high. Baba making moves, huh? Baba. Wow, look at that massive run on Baba, man. And look, it opened right there at the average. You know, I was thinking about getting into Baba as well, man. To be honest with you, I was watching it yesterday. But knowing that they might be delisted is scary. Imagine you get into this stock and then you say you're thinking of holding on to it for about a day or so. And you can very well do that with Baba. You know, once you've done your homework and, you know, everything you need to know, whether to let you know if it's going to be a, you know, more than a day hold, 2, 3 max maybe. But imagine that news comes in, and I'll pull it up for you right now.
There's some discussion about maybe having lawmakers, if they can't get it done in the next couple of weeks, having them stay through the holidays. Is there any sense that
imagine it gets delisted and
sometime before Christmas?
you're in the stock when that happens. That sucks, man.
When they're operating under a deadline, they're a lot like
so this is the news. This is why I'm worried, and apparently some people are not. But so this is the news right here. All right.
Is proving to be a good motivating factor. What I think is possible is that you could see some kind of small extension of funding by a few days or by a week if they feel like they're close enough that they could reach a deal. Maybe we're still here leading up into the holidays, but again, as we get into next year, then you have a new Congress, you have a whole different set of
it's tough, man.
In December.
Garrett Haig live for us there on the Hill. Garrett, keep us posted. Thank you much for that, my friend. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
They need to meet compliance with
for the holidays. Holiday fear for some. With concerns about
with the exchanges down here. It's tough, man.
White House in September. You remember that Rose Garden announcement involving now Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett.
All right.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is inviting.
So we're done for the day. I see a lot of you already made your money. Very nice. Anyone holding? Anyone holding anything?
Hosting non-mission critical events. Here's an invitation obtained by the Post for an event December 15th, just a couple of weeks away, called Diplomacy at Home for the Holidays.
Neo.
Take place in the department's reception space, the Benjamin Franklin Room. This is it. Gorgeous spot. Beautiful chandeliers, beautiful columns. With me now, we bring in Washington Post reporter, national security reporter John Hudson to talk about this new reporting. John, great scoop by you here about this, what's happening at the State Department. You've got the invitation we just mentioned, right? 900 invitations going out to that party. Then the next day, you've got another 180 people invited.
You're holding Neo. Damn.
Another party.
Why might go back up, my man? I don't know. I mean, do you have an exit strategy?
Stuff going on. There are concerns. There are red flags, and the State Department is defending this, right? Talk us through this.
Well, I'm assuming you got in here. That's where I would have got in. At 45 or 46.16. I would have sold it here at 47.26 for a dollar gain. Everything told you to sell it there. It tapped that right there.
There's going to be temperature checks. Of course, as we've learned throughout this coronavirus pandemic, those measures pale in comparison
rule of thumb.
To the potential viral load.
How I gauge how much money I expect to make on a stock. So if I get into a stock and I know that that stock moves on average maybe a dollar plus maybe. So that stock has reached that dollar after I've gotten in. Even missing some of the move by maybe 20, 30 cents. And it still goes up a dollar. I'm out. If it continues to go up, it's only going to go up maybe like 30, 40 cents. You can do without the 30, 40 cents and hope and wait for that to pass that. So understand what the stock does. If it tends to move on average, whatever it moves, then, you know, expect for it to reach that point. Now, if it's above your pink and blue lines, and it's telling you to stay in, and it's already past that point, then stay in. But if it's having a hard time struggling with a certain level, and it's giving you multiple opportunities to get out, seeing that that's the level of resistance, and it's already up a buck from where you bought it at, you should have got out there. So I will put your sell trigger right there, 47.31. I mean, it's not far from it, my man. And Neo can definitely do that. I mean, it's only down from the low where you bought in $2, dollar and change. So it can reach it. But yeah, so I don't promote home runs, man. If you want to make a certain amount of money, more than what you would taking these bases to build up your capital, then look into a 2-3 day hold. Make sure you do your homework on it. You know, how far down has it gone? Why did it go down there? Is it a good price to get in? And hopefully in 2-3 days it's going to go up. Everything tells you that, you know. And then, you know, then get a home run that way. But if you're going for day trading, you got to know with these stocks that we trade them daily. We trade mostly the same stocks almost every day. And you know what they move on average. So if you know what they move on average and you're looking to make your money that day, you're scalping, you're getting in and out, they know what it moves. So we see this price action drop right here. I would have got in, honestly, I would have got in right here at the support level, because you got all this price action. I mean, it's just boom. And then the bar starts to get a little lower, little by little. I'm just holding on for the next candle to give me an indication of where it could go, being it's already at support off the deviation lines. And I would ride that wave up. I would have gotten out right here on the red candle right here. The moment it reached that peak, I would have already put a sell trigger to reach that level right there, because it already tested it 2 times before. Third time, I'm out. And this one gave you multiple. It gave you another 2 tries right here. But it could go up, man. Make sure you got an exit strategy. How much money are you comfortable losing on this trade? So, you know, if you got in right there, I wouldn't probably do it.
For the first time today, Dr. Anthony Fauci is going to meet with members of the Biden transition team to talk about the
right here, 45 even, 44.90 around there.
We know that Fauci has had conversations with the president-elect's incoming chief of staff, Ron Klain.
Look, if this news with the U.S. government gonna go and check out these Chinese stocks, and if they're not in compliance, they're gonna get delisted. I'm comfortable holding that for a couple of days, no problem. NEO is a good stock. It's a good company. They're backed by their government. That whole battery thing they got going on is great. Right, so they have a battery subscription. So you can get the car for less if you sign up for the subscription, meaning when you drive, instead of having to stop to charge your car or charge it overnight or whatever, as soon as your battery's low with the subscription, I think you call them, or there's an app, whatever, or you can go to one of their locations, or they'll come to you and bring the battery. They'll swap the battery and you can go on your day. Nothing but great news. 100%. But the fact that they could be delisted, yeah, I want to wait for that. I want to wait for that to be over before I get into that at all. So, yeah, man, I would give yourself that exit strategy, man. You know, $45 maybe, yeah, $45. Give yourself some wiggle room. But, you know, I mean, if you want to bag hold it, I'm not going to tell you not to. I'm giving you a suggestion what I would do. But like I said, I don't think it's gonna go further down than what it already did. I think it's gonna find its way going up. But I wouldn't suggest holding this overnight because of that news. They could be delisted. So I'm not too excited about that. So I would give myself an exit strategy. I would not hold this overnight. But that's you, my man. So good luck to you, man. I hope that works out for you, man. Let me know, later on today or tomorrow morning. I'm gonna take a look at it too. You know what I'm gonna do is you should put a price trigger right there at 47.31, right? So what I'm gonna do is, I want to see if it goes for you, my man. I want everyone to make money. So I'm gonna put a price trigger alert for myself, so that way, hopefully you can get there for you, my man. Listen, it happens. We all make mistakes, I mean, you take these base hits. A lot of you have been going green. This is probably your first red day at the moment. It happens, dude. It happens. Just don't blow up your account. Give yourself a good exit strategy. Where you're comfortable losing the day, and take it from there. So, but
ongoing benefits, dental, including fillings, exams, and dentures.
Yeah, when I want to make money, you follow strategy, you understand support resistance, know what the stock moves on average, If a stock moves $1 plus on average going up, then, expect for it to move around there. If it doesn't move more than that on average, like it does that every now and again, you don't want to be stuck in a trade hoping that now and again is the day you got in it. Just go with the stats. If it moves $1, it moves $1. If it happens to go up a little more than that, then everything on your chart needs to tell you that it's doing that. I mean, you have multiple tools to your advantage that you could use for that. These indicators. Some traders don't use indicators. They're like, I don't need all these indicators. So it looks like spaghetti on my charts. Well, you know what, man? I need the spaghetti. I love spaghetti. I am a spaghetti fanatic. Let me have my spaghetti. I need it. Maybe one day down the line, maybe I can. I mean, I'm getting close to it. Maybe I can say, okay, you know what? I don't need these lines here anymore. I have an understanding of all the chart, the candlesticks, the price movements, all that kind of stuff. But I'm not there yet. So I found a strategy that works for me, and I'm going to keep using the strategy. But I also like to look at different things. Like this strong price movement from Neo right here. Like eventually, after all this, what's gonna go up? Not just that, but you have your RSI telling you so, and then you have your SCO on the bottom telling you as well. I mean, I would have got in here, sold it right there. But that's just me.
Inside the West Wing between now and Inauguration Day. And now NBC says
look, I'll give you one last example, okay? So, understanding support and resistance, understanding what the stock can move, what it normally moves on average, give you an indication where you should get out, right? If it happens to go south a little bit for you, and but not by much, it's not passing the limit or getting close to the limit of what you should sell at to make a small loss. Sell it at the level that it's having a hard time breaking. So you can see here, I sold it here at the 34.48. I sold a penny up from that. This is the reason why. It struggled with it 3 times previously. Then we had all this going up and down. Then it came here to support on the deviation, so that gave me a good indication it was going to go up. Now keep in mind, I was also thinking of holding this long term, or at least for a couple days or so. I do think that J Maya is going to end up going further up today, but not just that. So if we're talking about just a day trade, I'm going to I'm going to sell it at that resistance. Depending on how many shares you got, how much money you'll make. But since it gave me an opportunity to get that was going back to that level, I decided to sell it at that level. I already put my price trigger and ready to go. And look, now it's having a hard time going back to that level. So honestly, I don't think this is going to keep going any further down than when it already went to, and if that's the case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a price trigger alert right there, because I do think maybe it'll bounce off support or close to support before the day and then rises way up. So understanding that is what should let you understand when to get out of a trade. Support and resistance is extremely crucial. We use our lines to gauges to get in. We can also use them to gauges to get out. Very helpful for that as well. But if everything lines up for you, then you get in. Like in hindsight, I should have probably got in here. I should have waited. You were right. Who said that? So, correct. So if it was already at resistance from yesterday as it opened today, right? Resistance being right there. Their time was not on their side, and it opened above it. It was going to go down. I should have thought. Yeah, I didn't think of that at the moment. Preaching everything. Glad you caught on that, and that's awesome.
to him about sanctions, according to one official, because no one would have cared if he did.
If it opens higher than the previous day, then look for like a mini pop, and then it should start to go down. That's profit takers. That's 101 right there. Panic sell off. Very nice that you caught on to that. I like that you did that. Very nice, man. You, my man, and all of you are on your way to make a lot of money in the stock market.
And no one, even to this day, can really understand why, because as the official said, they didn't care if he talked to the ambassador about sanctions.
I don't give educational advice. This is a stock show.
They didn't care. It made no sense to them that he would lie about this repeatedly, and that led to some very...
All right, guys. I'm done for the day. Thank you guys for watching. I'm glad you guys went green, except for my man B-Bob over here. B-Bob. Hold on, dude. I mean, it's not close to your sell point, right? I'll take one last look before I shut off for you real quick. Let's see where it's going right now.
Really appreciate you being on the show with us, Carol. Thank you, my friend. Thanks, Allie. Turning now to a story that we have followed a lot here on this show about those now.
So it looks like it's on its way up, my man. So hopefully, I don't know if it'll reach your 47 because it dropped.
One step closer to reuniting, as lawyers now say, after months of pleas, the Trump administration has handed over some critical information, including previously unknown phone numbers that might be key to tracking those parents down. I want to bring in now NBC News Justice correspondent Julia Ainsley. Julia, we've been covering this part of the family separation story for a while now.
Yeah, it can reach your mark today, man.
From their parents for years. What took so long to get this information?
Yeah, it can reach your mark today.
Well, it's a good question, Hallie, and it starts before these families were even separated.
You can trigger that.
The officials of
Neo's a heavy mover. It can move over $1.
And all raise their hands to go forward with family separation, knowing they did not have a good system to put the families back together. But now lawyers who have taken it on themselves to represent these families and reunite them say that after months of pleading with the government to hand over any kind of data, phone numbers, addresses, anything they can do to figure out where these families, where the parents and the children are in this system, whether they've been deported, whether the children have been sent to live with foster families, they say now they have a sliver that could be critical, and that comes from the Justice Department's Immigration Court Office. They are handing over information to show that for parents and children who are in the United States, those who might be going through deportation proceedings or claiming asylum, they have information for those people. They have phone numbers. This all came in the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. The lawyers are still going through it, but according to the filing that they filed in federal court last night, they said it could really be helpful, and they expect that 628 number could go down now that they have this information. Is there anything about this process that could change in 48 days from now, Julie, when the government, changes hands?
All right, so Trader View. So, second month with the small account challenge. I just uploaded my money for today. So you can see December, we're going to see if we can go all green for the whole month of December. Let's try to do that. Let's stick to our guns. Learn from our mistakes. I did write that down. The panic sell-off. I do know that it has that...
bring the parents who have been deported back to the United States for possible reunification. Lawyers say without that commitment, you're asking parents who have been deported, which they think are about 2/3 of the total separated.
But you know what, though? Also, my strategy told me to get in. I could have got out for a mini pop. $4 or $5, and but I wanted more. Not being greedy, but I know that this is going to continue to go. So I held on. But you are right. If that was my initial plan, the morning panic sell-off is what to look for. Yeah, I like that, man. Hey, we learn from each other, man. I'm liking that. So, you can see we're getting better and better, right? We started the account challenge here, the small, and November. We had 2 red days there. Okay, so far for December, we started the month on Tuesday, and we didn't sell, became a swing trade. We doubled down, made money on that. I'm going to show you like about 3+, about almost $4, and today we made 9. So we're already making more money than the beginning of this month than we did
Almost nearly 2 years after being
last month.
The Boeing 737 MAX is taking its first ever passenger test flight now since those crashes. I want to bring NBC's Tom Costello in. He was on board for it. Here's a preview.
The focus on that is to make sure that
any questions from anyone before I go? You want to see my buy screen? Sure.
Experience the power of sanctuary at the Lincoln Wishlist sales event. Sign
It's my buy screen. I got my active trader,
complimentary first month payment.
my level 2, my news for the stock that's above this monitor, my time in Salesforce right here, the tape, and then I have my my watch list. These are the $3 or more movers right here, and these are the $1 or more movers right here. And this is on a flex grid. See?
For expensive car repairs. When my vehicle broke down, CarShield made sure everything was taken care of. I saved $4,100.
Our transmission went out, and with CarShield coverage, we saved $3,000.
We're just happy with CarShield. They put a transmission in it and a motor.
You can. Yeah, I can show you how to do that. It's not a problem. I'll make a video on it, and then I'll send it in the. I guess I'll send it in both chat rooms, because I'm in your guys' chat room, and I have my own, just being a gaming Twitch account.
America's #1 auto protection provider. The dealership told me.
No, the other chat room, my friend runs that. We're gonna start filtering over from there. When that one's all set, and whenever he's finished what he's doing, and we start flooding it with more people, then you can just switch over to that one. For now, let's just maintain here on this one. No questions. Awesome. You guys, awesome. I'm glad that every one of you have made money today. Bob, you'll get there. I think Neo will get there. Neo is a good stock. It's looking like it wants to go back up there, so I think you'll be fine. J Maya was my winner today. DraftKings might be a one for tomorrow. I see that it's having a struggling day as well today. I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. I got a bunch of stocks I like to look at, you know? I mean, I got about 13 on my $3 or more movers, and my dollar moves have about 18 or so. No, I don't believe in well, I don't do the momentum stocks because of that same reason. Enticing, super cheap, they're only hot for the day. If you don't got a great strategy that works with that, you can lose money. I mean, even the top gurus that trade momentum stocks can lose money doing it. It's just risky. You need a strong strategy, decent capital. Yeah, it's risky, man. It really is risky. I don't like that risk. I did okay with it. I didn't do that bad. As I was going and learning about the stock market, I started seeing things and then hearing advice from other people about this, about that stock, about this, about that. You know, and then I started, playing with it and grabbing bits and pieces of what I've learned to implement it and to see that it's actually working, and then, being able to help people and share that with people and help them succeed in a side project, or if they want this to be their main thing, I like to do that. So I prefer trading the large cap stocks because, stocks are not safer, but if you, I guess it is. I guess it is safer, I guess, in a way. But like strong stocks, like I don't know, Regeneron, Netflix, stocks like that. You do your homework on them, which I learned was, learn where they came from, learn where they're at, learn where they can possibly go. Support resistance and everything. Support resistance is very important, guys. Learn support resistance. I can see a lot of you have. You gave me that very nice, I wrote it down, that very nice indication that I missed. But I want to give you a rebuttal. My only rebuttal of that is that the fact that my strategy told me to get in. I got in, and I could have made a small pop. But my intentions were that I was going to hold on to this for a day or so if it didn't reach my price point. And knowing that it opened above yesterday, it's expected to sell off, man. I like that. Yeah, it's awesome. Alright, guys. I'm done, man. Glad you guys made money. B-Bob, I hold on to Neo. If it goes below your exit, get out of it. Make your money tomorrow. It's better, to take a small loss and hoping, instead of holding and hoping that it's just going to go down. You can make your money back tomorrow, man. But it looks like you're still good for the moment. So yeah. Alright, guys. I don't know what I'll be looking at tomorrow. I see a lot of stuff that I like that have gone up that could possibly go down. I see some stuff that I like that went down that could possibly go up. So I'll be looking at this tonight, and then I'll send you guys my 3 or 4 top picks for tomorrow, later on today. And alright, guys. Glad you guys made money. Awesome. I am going to put in the new chat room, in this one and the other one, a loss or a red and green day. With, you would click on, you go in there, you click on it, see how many people went green or in red. That's when we have more people in the chat room for that to actually take place. But, alright, guys, so we're good. I can see J Maya probably is going to go back up to where I sold it at, but no, I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to buy this long term in my account. So if it's having a hard time struggling to pass this mark here, I'll probably set a trigger for 32.73. Hold on that for like about maybe 6 months or so, maybe a year. I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys, have a good one.
Attention! Do you have Medicare? Did you know that you may qualify